Hello everyone, today we're gonna make this abaya. Now you should have your abaya pattern all printed out and get ready to tape it together. Now to tape your patterns up, you will need some tape and scissors. When taping your patterns up, pay attention to the numbers at the top of each page on the left hand side. Each row will begin with the same letter, and then each number goes under the same number. So you have A2, A3 all the way across, and the next row will start with B2, B3. To ensure that all of your rows are straight, match up the diamonds perfectly and use small pieces of tape to hold them in place. Now that I've finished the first A row, I'm gonna start now on the B row. After I've built this second row, I go ahead and secure the whole line in place with a long piece of tape. Now that everything is all taped and set in place, it's time to cut the pattern pieces out.
Two hours later.
All of your pieces should be cut out by now and look like this. Now let's start cutting the fabric. For this abaya, I'm using this heavy satin. It's much like bridal satin. I actually do not remember what it's called. I just got it in store at Joann. It's quite opaque and heavy, which I think would be suitable for an abaya since I won't have to worry about anything being transparent. So I begin by folding the length of the fabric in half, making sure it's all nice and smooth throughout the whole piece. Next up, I start placing my pattern pieces on the fabric. The back piece needs to be cut on fold, so I place that on the side of the fold. And then I lay the front pieces on the other side, which would be the open end, since we need to cut two pieces of this. I use my son's little cars as paperweights to hold the fabric in place while I cut the pieces out. Now we have all our pattern pieces cut out and ready to be sewn together. We would have one part for the back piece, two for the front, two pieces for the collar, and two pieces for the sleeve cuffs. Now you're going to open up your back piece and lay it with the wrong side on the floor or your cutting table. And then bring over the front pieces and attach them at the shoulders with pins so that it's easier to take to your machine and sew them in place. Now go ahead and give this a straight stitch, finish that edge, and also give it a press. Now after sewing the shoulders closed, this is how it should be looking. I'm going to add some rhinestones to mine, so I'm going to use this water soluble ink pen and mark some dots on where I want to place some rhinestones. I'll be using these crystal rhinestones that I got from Amazon, and I'll be applying them with some B7000 glue. All I did was drop a dot of glue on where I put all those marks and then press the rhinestone on top of that. Now if you would like to add some rhinestones as well, or stitch some beads on, this is the best point to do it. When the fabric's all nice and flat, it's much easier to apply. I left the fabric out like this on the floor overnight so that the glue properly cures, and this is how it looked the next day. Then I'm going to put right sides together so that I can sew the side seams and the rest of the sleeves closed. Just go ahead and ensure that all of the sides line up properly and pin it in place. Then give it a stitch starting from the edge of the sleeve all the way down to the bottom of the abaya. After you've sewn, finished, and pressed that seam, you're going to take your scissors and make little snips into this curve. And now for the cuffs of the sleeves, unfold that and fold it again in half the other way, and then give it a stitch, finish that edge, and a press. After you've sewn it together, you're gonna turn it right side out. And then take your sleeve and insert that sleeve basically into the cuff. And then you're going to match up the seam of the cuff to the under seam of the sleeve. Pin that in place and then give it a stitch. Finish that edge and iron it, of course. When you're done, this is how it should look. And now we have the collar pieces. You're just gonna sew that together to make it one long piece. And what I did to make this easier was fold that in half and press it, and then pin in place. The easiest way I found to stitch this is to simply start from the middle seam of the collar and work my way down, and then go on to the other side from the middle again all the way down to the side. This is how your collar should look after it's done correctly. Then just hem the bottom to your liking and you're all done. I'll see you in the next one.